move on to the open mic section where we can chop up any OTC company in the market right now, due diligence on that company, hot, juicy, whatever, random information on public companies. I see stock awareness in the house, so we know somebody's going to talk about something quick. Shido, I sent you an invite. Accept that thing already, by goodness. And anybody else that has a stock that you're focused on, you get one chance to come up and talk to us about the stocks you're looking at and share some due diligence so we can have a good discussion about it. And we're going to look up things and see what we can do to, as a community, make smarter investment decisions. Who's up next?
Well, here we go. Let's get some hands up and see if we can talk about some of the things in the market. Shido's here. What was your take on the day?
Hey guys, what's up?
I saw your tweet on the day. You said Tuesday sucks.
Oh boy, no, today sucked big time. At least from my perspective. It always depends, obviously, how your individual bigger holdings do. But today was a lot of dumping. From what I saw, a lot of the good stuff that was good lately, a lot of low floats got hammered. We had the FLES disaster. We had NBCO pretty bad, and we had a ton of others pretty bad. So not too good. What do you think, Kiko?
I felt like it was a bit disappointing just to see a lot of the progress kind of just get erased. Yeah, so I think it just hurts the trust, and people say, hey, I don't like to trade options and I don't like to trade crypto because I like to hold on to things. And, at the rate that these things sell off, this is almost no different, except you don't get the upward price action, And so I feel like today is yet another reason that we have a long way to go with this market. And these companies continue to shorten their lifespan by being so greedy in the short term.
Yeah. We will see how the rest of the week goes. I hope today was just an outlier. I personally was pretty happy lately with the stuff I had, but yeah, I can see what you mean. It wasn't healthy today, and the FLES thing, obviously. What can you say? This is stuff that hurts, obviously, because this is widely held. And
we were led to understand that this is it for the notes, and they're all restricted, and blah 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 blah. Yeah. And if you've been around, to take it with a grain of salt. But for someone to be around, it's just really frustrating.
It is frustrating, and it's really frustrating that there is still the seller there on FLES, and he sold like crazy the last 2 days, and it wasn't supposed to be like this, and I am upset about it, to be honest, because I like the situation, and I like the plan they had, and I put my name behind it for a while now, and this is not what I expected to see, to be honest.
It does hurt. I know how it goes. Yeah. Well, stock awareness. So let's remind everyone of the rules, Josh.
Yep. Come up one time. Let's talk. Let's hammer through a stock, the DD on it, and what you want to talk about. And then we're going to give other people a chance. So one time to come up, and that's it.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
What's up, man?
So on KEGS, I had mentioned that we're watching this for the summer. They closed on the Maggie's acquisition today at 2:00. They bought the second restaurant, so they now own 2 restaurants. The Maggie's picked up 1.5 million in revenue. So that should come on the quarterlies at some point. We're watching that. Big volume on that today. There is still I had mentioned in the very beginning there was about 2 billion shares on an old debt holder. I'm not sure what the count is now because there has been a lot of volume and have to calculate over the last few weeks. But once that's gone, there should be some interesting things there. The other one I learned about, GPFT, which is grapefruit. I've been mentioning on my feed. They have a yield sign, but they actually shouldn't have one. The yearly was filed. We called OTC. Apparently, they put a wrong form or something, and they've given the form, so that should drop back off. Not sure what they got going on there, but we're watching that one. Did y'all talk about IDKFF at all?
No, not yet.
Just wondering why I didn't. What was market on it today? I didn't even notice because I was so busy.
It's a good point, because this one I posted about it on Twitter. It's almost back to where it started. I don't know what's going on.
Like 38 or something.
Yeah, what's going on with this one?
I don't know. I've been watching these other ones, and then TDRK, which I'd mentioned, remember, back at $0.015. It's been doing decent.
I got to insert myself on this. Now, is that the same way it looks for their Canadian stock?
Yeah, it's a multiplier, I think, right? OTC, I believe.
Like, check IDK and see if their chart looks the same, because I don't know that it would.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't have Canadian charts, so maybe y'all can post that.
Me either.
Yeah,
I got it right here.
It lost half. It lost half, basically, the Canadian.
I'll post that on the top where you can see it.
For the month of April, it's been crushed in Canada. I'll post it in the chat.
Okay. I wonder why.
And it wouldn't make any sense if it would be materially different. There is no way, because the arbitrage function would be set in immediately. So there's always a little bit fluctuations, but it has to be materially the same.
And the volume was on decent selling. Yeah.
There's two I'll mention, then I'll drop off, guys, that I'm looking at. HWAL, because of the share structure, is unbelievable. And which some people don't like this one, but WRPT, also share structure, unbelievable. Nothing out there, moves on air. So I'm looking at both of those.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Stock Awareness. Appreciate that. We got Sam here. Why don't you go ahead, Sam?
Hey, hi. Can you hear me?
You bet.
Yeah, hi. Hey, thanks for hosting. Wonderful show. Hey, wanted to share. We had on any news on IGPK. There is a lot of news going on, right, about it's merging with China e-commerce company. Saw a lot of activity around 2 cents, and then it went down to a lot in one day, and then again it's coming up. Just wanted to get some thoughts on that. And the other one I was looking was HDUP. They were doing, it's in the online lottery, and they were supposed to do a reverse merger with Spinola. Have not seen much activity. It was almost like 20 cents, and it's gone down. Any thoughts on that, if anybody can share on that?
What was that second ticker, sorry?
HDUP, Heads Up Entertainment. HDUP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with IGPK, it went down a lot because there's a reverse split coming. And it's a sizable reverse split. And a lot of people don't want to take the risk of holding through it because they could end up in a number of situations. Yeah. And so what happens with it is the reason that you do a reverse split is because that there's too many shares floating around in the market. And so when you want to raise capital and hand shares to debt holders to sell, they don't really want to be selling those shares at 1 cent and potentially having no upside because there's billions of shares in the float. So what they do is when a new vehicle comes in, they'll do a reverse split and then begin handing out shares, which will then be sold into the market and will be worth it in terms of lenders that are taking shares to then dump into the float. So the risk is, and part of the reason that people dump reverse splits is because they say, well, I'd rather not hold through the split and then get immediately dumped on by brand new note holders. I'd rather leave and wait and see how low they take it before I pick it up again.
Yeah, buy low, sell high, not the reverse way around.
Right. So, I mean, there's a chance that they never dilute a share, but on the flip side of the coin, that's also not the reason that you take your company public. Like the whole point of it is to sell shares. So
now there's another side to this. I mean, IGPK is a vehicle that this new, whatever the symbol is going to be, is being taken over. So they have to clean up the previous company's mess, which is always a frustrating moment because they're not the ones that created the share structure. They did get the vehicle. So I don't know if they could have gotten a different vehicle or not. But the case is they're moving into this one. So they've got some things to clean up before they begin running it as their company. And I'm sure they want a clean slate, which would include potentially, but not necessarily, changing around the stock structure, getting rid of convertible or toxic or aged debt, being able to get access to OTC IQ and change around all of the company profile information, establish a news wire. There's a lot of things that they have to do, but they're kind of, from my understanding, waiting until the IGPK or cannabis name is off the company so that they're not directly associated with that in China and they don't have any backlash from the Chinese police.
that's what they're saying. So Sam, there's a lot to think about there, and hopefully that answers your question. With regard to HDUP, boy, it's
HDUP.
oh
HDUP. H
XDUP.
for hen, D for Delta, U for umbrella, P for Paul. HDUP.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up. I've got it pulled up right
HDUP.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heads
Heads
Up
up.
Entertainment Inc. at
Yeah, heads up.
0065. It's been on a downtrend for since May of last year. It's been slowly trending down.
Yeah, what's the question there?
No, we have not heard anything from the management there. They were doing a reverse merger with Spinola.
The last
Sometimes,
time,
yeah, sometimes it's been a year now, and sometimes they sell their shares and that's the end of it, and so I mean at some point you may hear from them again, but this is how this game is played, my friend. Musical chairs.
yeah. Concerning that, we have somebody requesting to speak that might be able to answer what's been going on over the last few days with FLES.
Thank you, Sam.
You guys want to bring up Chris Davenport?
Yeah, it would be great.
Yes.
Chris, you're on.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Chris. How you been doing?
Doing well. Thank you. Hanging in there. Thanks for always a great show.
Thank you, man. So you've heard us talking over the last few days. Stellar's still there. I'm sure you want to come up and address that. So I brought you up because I'd love to hear directly from you.
Yeah, so obviously everybody left Friday evening after close feeling pretty good. Stock closed a little over 5 cents. Since then, we had, so what has been stated publicly, nothing has changed. So we had a small seller that was still had shares left. That's I believe their legal name is GS Capital. Gabe runs that fund. Their balance was around 39 grand. I called him this morning and I'm like, hey Gabe, just checking in. Where are you guys at on this? And he goes, let me check. He goes, the note's down to 25 grand plus interest. So that's the only active seller in the entire in their selling. So as
So
everybody
he has
knows,
how much left?
he told me on the phone he had 25 grand left. So a few weeks ago it was 39 grand plus interest. Says I got 25 grand plus interest. So anyway, so nothing has changed. There's no new guys in there selling. There's no new notes selling. Nothing's selling except GS Capital and Gabe. So it's really important that when I put out an 8K, we lay out every contract that's signed, it's legally signed by me. It's signed by the entities that are doing the standstill. Everything is public. It has to be, obviously. I try to be as transparent as possible. But what I would remind everybody is that there's an underlying business here that I believe in. It's why I'm still in the company and staying in the company, right? We continue to grow revenues, get the burn under control, and we've put $15 million, and depending on how you look at it, $15 million in principal, but well over $20 million with interest and penalties in some sort of standstill agreement, some sort of lockup, preferred share, and it takes everybody through the end of this year, and then some of the groups beyond the end of this year. So I think it's a tremendous accomplishment. What we've done here with the company and where the company is going. Anyway, so that's my update. I wanted to bring everybody up to speed on what's going on. So
I have a question for you.
Sure.
What price do they have those $25,000 worth of shares at?
They're probably
Is it 50%?
No. I think they're. I don't have it in front of me. I'm guessing it's about a 1 cent. Typically they're whatever the current trade is. They're 20 points back, 30 points back.
So they've got 2.5 million shares left, roughly.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So that's what's in the market today. Now, when I talked to Gabe 3 weeks ago, he said, I'm not going to sell. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sitting there going, someone's selling, right? And I'm like, who the hell's selling? Yeah. So I'll just call Gabe because he's the only one that's got shares. So I was like, hey, Gabe, he goes, no, we're not selling. He goes, oh, wait a minute. Oh, we sold 100,000 shares today. I'm like, okay, well, anyway.
I thought you weren't selling, man.
Yeah, right. I thought you weren't selling. So anyway, I'm just trying to be as transparent as possible. So I don't want to take you guys this time. I just want to let you know, obviously it's frustrating when, we're trying to be as transparent as possible and people tell us they're doing things, but I'm just trying to do what I can. And it's really important that everybody understands that when I put something in an 8K, that's it. That's black and white. It doesn't get any more transparent. So, if there's any questions around the 8K I just put out, feel free to ask, but there's 6 documents in there, 5 or 6, I don't have it memorized, but you had and I called out every single lender that did a standstill agreement, and every single document lays out the details of that standstill agreement. So anyway, it's all public.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Look, we're building a community for people to get information directly from companies because all the other stuff's BS. So thank you very much for raising your hand and letting us know because we were just talking about this and there's nothing like hearing it directly from the horse's mouth. So Chris, we really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
2.5 million shares. So that's not obscene.
No, I mean we'd love to see.
It's happened today's
that
volume.
wasn't on paper. That part isn't on paper. That's just kind of estimate.
No. Yeah, I mean it's rough, but roughly speaking, I mean, and I've been around this since like 01, so I'm just getting down to brass tacks. It's not exact, but roughly 2.5 million shares, and that's half of today's volume. So they're not. The stock would have been down more than 30% if they were more than 50% of the volume for the day.
Yeah, for sure.
I have one thing for Chris. I mean, thanks, Chris, for coming up and thanks for the effort in the stuff in the 8K. I know it's a great accomplishment, and we always said that. I always said that. The thing is, on the seller, there was recently 5 million shares added to the DTC, and I have no idea where they are coming from. There was only, like, as you said, 40,000 left for the third seller. Now it's 25,000. The 15,000 difference can never be 5 million shares added to the DTC. It's also, I don't know how much we can trust these guys. I mean, when he says like we are selling like 200,000 shares or something, this is not 5 million shares dumping today if the guys sell 200,000 shares. So there must be, I mean, there is obviously somebody in the market that just converted 5 million shares to the DTC. I think, I mean, that's what I see. So that's the thing that I don't understand where they are coming from. But anyway, we can only hope they are finished at some point, because because we need transparency about that, because otherwise retail guys will get tired sooner or later on that.
All right, Chris is back. Give us the goods, Chris.
Yeah. So real quick on that point, I'm glad you brought that up. So over the weekend, did a podcast with myself, Brett Rosen, with Buffalo Fireside, and they were like, "Hey, what are those shares?" So I called Clear Trust today, and I was like, on Friday, there was an increase in 5 million shares. Who did those shares go to? Those were GS Capital. That was Gabe. So
yeah, that's the point. Yeah,
that's exactly where those shares went. So just so everybody knows,
it was conversion. Yeah.
so he is sitting on reserve shares, but he has no more reserve shares. He hasn't been issued any more shares. So he converted what he was sitting on. Those are the 5 million shares you saw come into the float, into the outstanding on Friday. Okay. So that's where those came from.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, while you're up there, there's one more person that has a question. It's stock awareness campaigns. I'm going to let him come up and ask you the question he has, okay?
Sure.
Stock awareness, what's up, man? You have a question for FLES?
Hello, Chris. How are you doing?
Just fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. I have a question. You said the debt holder has approximately 23,000. Is that what you said?
25,000 plus interest.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What is he converting at each time? Is he maxing the 9% out every time, or is he only converting a little bit each time?
So earlier today, and it was around 11 a.m., 12 o'clock maybe, I called Gabe. I go, Gabe, what's going on? Oh, we're not selling, just like I said. I go, okay, well, it's weird because someone's selling. He goes, oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, well, we sold 100,000 today. I go, okay, well, what's your balance? Just give me the balance. He goes, it's 25 grand. I go, okay, so it went from 40 grand to 25 grand. So I don't know the number he's selling. I don't have access to that information.
Well, no,
his numbers don't line up.
That's not my question. So if he had 40 grand and he now has, let's call it whatever, 25. Let's say he
says he's converting like a penny, round a penny.
Right. So you take 15,000 divided by a penny is how many shares? That's what, 1,500,000?
2.5 million. He said he had 25,000.
Okay, so my question is, can't you just convert him out completely up to like 9% where he's not an affiliate, and that way his shares would all be on the street, and then retail could take them out?
Yeah, that would be ideal, right? It's rather, I don't like this 1,000 deaths by paper cut. I'm like, just convert out, just get out.
Well, because I mean, the obvious merry-go-round, and this is our space that we work in. The obvious merry-go-round he wants you on is to drive your stock down. Then you need him more, so you take more money. You give him more shares. To get him out, just convert the whole thing. Unless he's the one, asking only for a little bit of a conversion every time, and then he just drags and drags and drags and drags.
Yep. Yeah. So I agree with you. I can't force him. I told him, like, just convert out, get out. It's like, he said he wasn't going to be selling, and then he is. So I'm like, just get out, just convert out then.
Does he have a ratchet though? In other words, it's a $25,000 with a 10%, or is it
this
ratchet?
note is over 2 years old. This is a super old note, and I'd have to go in and try to look at it. But
yeah, this probably got a ratchet clause then.
I'm just telling everybody who's in the call. I think his reserve shares, what he had left was 5 million shares. He pulled down all of the reserve shares. He has no more reserve shares. He's going to have to come back to me and say, give me more reserve shares.
Yeah, you have to do another conversion.
No, it's not a conversion. He's going to request, please transfer from your authorized shares. Please give me more shares.
Right.
He has to come and ask for those. That's not a conversion to Clear Trust. That's saying, hey, I'm out of shares. Can you give me some more? And right now there is no more to give. So no.
Well, if you owe him money, you'd have to. I mean, if he has
that, or I can just pay him off. So or whatever has to be done, But it's like 5 million at 3 cents. I mean, that's a lot of coverage for a $25,000 note. So I'm hoping he just gets cleared out here in the next week or so.
But the thing is,
I'm not getting the answer. OTC, maybe you can address it.
If they add 5 million shares to the DTC, then it's not just coverage of shares. Then this is converted shares that get deposited to the DTC and sold. This is far more than just the coverage to So that's why. And I have no idea how this is possible, because even if he converts for 1.5 or something, 5 million shares would be 75,000 in debt. He never had that to begin with a few weeks ago. So that's the mystery I'm not getting here. You know what I mean? This is DTC shares. This is converted and deposited. So I don't know what these guys do. I have no idea what is going on with them.
So what they do is, if the CEO doesn't account and keep an accounting, because we go through this all the time, if he doesn't keep an accounting of what they're doing and say, hey, you've already converted all of your money plus X, then you need to stop, and that's it. We're done. They just can't convert on a $30,000 note, and they've already made $100,000 or whatever it is.
Yeah, but the thing is that the TA shouldn't just give out shares. I mean, the TA is going to
doesn't give out shares. He
contact the company and said and ask if this is okay. At least that's that's how I understand it. I've never been a CEO, but isn't it like this, Chris?
It was my understanding he had those shares. He sent the conversion notice to Clear Trust, and Clear Trust issued those shares.
Yeah.
Clear Trust doesn't ask you. They're supposed to ask you.
No. They say under the law, and it's very specific. We're not arguing. We're not verifying. We're following the letter of the law. These shares are theirs, and it's done. No, it's game.
Okay. I thought they're gonna ask
because
you
I'm
because
with Clear Trust, and they ask the CEO of every company that I convert if it's okay.
Because if not, they can do what they want. So that's dangerous. Because 5 million shares, even if he converts low, this is way too much in money. And
these are horrible notes. That's why I'm trying to get them all locked up and get this cleaned up.
Yeah,
I would just tell
guys.
them
I mean, we could probably go in circles all day on this. Like, I totally appreciate it. At the end of the day, as a retail trader, your really only job is to draw a line and say, below this line, I'm red. And because this is the type of stuff historically that has been the end of many traders and many companies hearing versus seeing, and so there's been a good move. What sound we got here? What are you, sir? Are you typing?
it was me. I'm done.
Yeah. But this is the thing. Like, I mean, people have been hearing things for years, and what you see and what it means to your account is the ultimate thing, and that's really the difference between being a surviving trader and not. So it's been a great move, obviously, and Chris is building a company there, and that takes money. But in the end, guys, it's a matter of, like, you bought 3 and you set a 20% stop on that, and if you go below, well, anything below that, it's your ass. And that's really the end of it. So thank you, Chris, and
you're welcome,
and everyone. I mean, but
thanks, Chris.
Yeah, that's how it's got to be. Anyone else got something on their mind?
I saw some interesting things today. I mean, for all those that have heard me talk for a while, I love working with GMGI. They just today at 8 a.m. announced that they completed the acquisition of Meridian Bet. They're now one company. Everything is finalized, and they had tremendously low volume. Yeah, the stock went up, not much, but like less than 20,000 shares traded. That was sad. Like, I saw it was on Facebook and Twitter, and it had been posted everywhere, but it just didn't have any sizzle. weird things happening in the market, man. Did anybody see RONN? Everybody was hammering on RONN last week,
Yeah, we did.
and
We grabbed it. We said it here to grab the break.
up 85% on 99 million shares. It did $191,000 in volume today. Not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, we if you remember, I think we all agreed that there is a bounce is not unlikely because this got hammered so much. And we talked about it, I think.
But there's other stocks that we haven't talked about. Who saw DRCR?
Yeah, good move today on a nice big revenue figure, which was really encouraging. So hopefully, people got a piece of that. It'll be interesting to see if it holds up, but certainly a great start.
Yeah, incredible numbers. Yeah, for sure.
Never heard of the company before, actually, till today.
This
There's one
is an
company.
ILIS related company. This is one of their. They've got DRCR. They've got that QIND, and so they've got. And if you look at the chart, kind of over the past couple of years, it's definitely a few people hoping it'll make a good move, but might be tough to see the continuation there. So we'll see what happens. But I figured, and I'd love to be proven wrong, but maybe it's worth making a trade versus seeing if you're going to go all the way there, because it seems to be this forever theme with everything related to ILIS. It's always the big thing is tomorrow, the big thing is coming, and it just doesn't seem to happen.
Yeah. By the way, guys, Josh, did you see QIND this week?
No, what happened?
It's
Flat.
Not good.
By the way, on that DRCR, that's the most volume they've had in over a year.
Yeah, no, it was a great revenue figure they put forward. The trouble is when you buy news on that,
Ouch.
on that with related to anything, like you always go, oh, well, did they already talk about it in the company discords and stuff? Like, what's the scoop? You don't really know.
Yeah, agreed.
Very true. Did anybody look at PLNH? That company only went up 15% today, but holy crap, they traded over $1 million in shares today. PLNH.
I saw it on the move. Yeah, it was okay. Let's just pull
Well,
it
look
up.
at the chart. The chart's starting to look decent. It had a huge sell-off back in the beginning of March, and it's coming up pretty nice.
Yeah. Seems like there's a big resistance there, kind of at 85. It's been rejecting it for how long now? Not quite a year. About 6 months. Been
Since
rejecting that
September.
85. Yeah, so maybe draw a line on top of that, and if it breaks through, use it as a stop potentially.
Good call. What is Planet 13 Holdings, anyways?
I believe it's weed or CBD
A cannabis
or something.
company.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
it's so frustrating.
vertically integrated cannabis company. Okay.
Yeah, so that was okay. The Ron was a good move. I was very disappointed in NBCO today. We had that forward-looking catalyst for the 14th for them to potentially close on this deal, and the anticipation just completely disappeared and had to go through the line and send it on its way. So I was very frustrated with it. Very
The
frustrated.
neon bloom.
Yeah, NBCO. And now it's kind of crawling back through the line, but I mean, the thing is, people will say, well, if you had the strength of mind or the power of me as a trader, you would never stop out of it. But I mean, there's a ton of guys like that in a ton of freaking bags, especially over the last 2 years. Like, we got to protect our capital. So could I be wrong to have done that? Yes. The probability of me being wrong based on the last 2 years to have done that, pretty low. You know what I mean? So I'll take my chances.
Yeah, had a good move lately, and they sure corrected that one fast today. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
Yeah, tough after triple. Yeah, you gotta expect it, I guess, with this stuff.
Yeah,
Yes, you do.
I know this other move that I wanted to bring up isn't. I mean, it's a huge percentage, but it's only one tick. But I haven't heard this symbol in years. They used to be one of my clients for press releases back in like 2014, if that tells you anything. So it's Paradigm Oil and Gas, PDGO.
Yes, boy, that's
What
a
the heck?
throwback, man. Oh man.
Yeah, I haven't. I thought they were gone. I didn't think they still existed, and all of a sudden today they're up 100%. Moved from 0001 to O2. They did like 127 trades, which isn't crap, but $68,000 in volume. That's, I mean, for looking at all of the advancers in OTC today, that's one of the higher ones.
It's excellent. Yeah, yeah, it's good. This is they had some type of a merger deal. Let me just pull up my notes here, because I have it. But they tried to do some type of a merger deal, and then they announced news today that they're going to be moving forward. So they're talking about the change of control, 58 oil and gas wells,
Yep.
and that the entity that was merging in picked it up. And so when this was originally announced, like, so this was when was
How
this?
long ago was that?
That was at the
Yeah,
end
because
of last year, and they just sold Trip Twos eternally. Like, it was just nonstop on Trip Two, and it was right
yeah,
back to Trip One. And so, I mean, buying a few oil and gas wells at the rate they sell,
and it's a
I
few
mean,
because it says they took 100% interest in 58 wells, but only 12 of them are producing. So that's like, I mean, yeah, it's got 600 acres of land. It's going to take a ton of money to put into reworking the wells and getting things producing, but it could have a big payout.
yeah,
Could.
it's possible.
It's one of these Strickland plays, but not the Spoozy Strickland, but the other guy, right?
Yeah, Dumpy Strickland.
Yeah, exactly. The same guy with the same name, completely the same name. That's unbelievable.
I thought I'd bring it up. I haven't heard that name since I sold press releases, so I thought it was worth talking about for a second. Interesting.
I have one but
Yes.
I want to wait if somebody else comes, because we want to hear others as well.
No one else. Go ahead.
And you know the stock, Pat, because I know you played it together with me a few weeks ago. LTCP, you remember?
Yes, of course I remember. And to me, it looked like the absolute bounce of a lifetime on deck. And I was doing lap dances around the OTC, spinning on a pole, clapping my cheeks to get anyone to look at a dub 3 on 22 million unrestricted. And I couldn't get, no one would even look at it. 22 million unrestricted at dub 3.
Yeah, 22 million unrestricted, 20 million DTC. They talked themselves in their last filings about the float, about 20 million, and obviously it's a good setup and everything. But the reason I bring it up is that they had a few days ago, and I don't know if you saw it, Kiko. They had a huge restricted package added, shares added, and this is intriguing, obviously, because this usually could very much point to that they bring something in, right?
Well, I know that they
An acquisition, or
yeah, they had a new CEO come in. This would have been maybe last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 410 million?
Let's see here. Yeah, that restricted block was put in. And so this was last summer that they added this new CEO who mentioned that he'd be looking for an asset.
Exactly.
And that was why I was like, boom, y'all, like 20 million unrestricted, dumped from 2 cents. This guy just said in May he's looking for an asset. Let's freaking go. And, maybe now it's finally time. Who knows? But I can't believe it was so tough. but I mean, I guess I can believe it.
Yeah,
But
just nobody around to look
Yeah.
at it. But the thing is, because I wrote the chairman of LTCP back then when it got hammered so much, because there was a seller and he was never there again. But obviously the stock came down again, and he told me they are working on projects on different stuff, and he will let everybody know at the same time. Obviously, I didn't want to get inside information, right? But he didn't give me any anyway. So then, okay, and I emailed him again. I said, like, listen, I saw the restricted ad. Are you going to come out with something for the public soon? Because this looks interesting to me, as if something was happening. And he said like that. His reply was like basically no comment at all. So
which I prefer, frankly.
Yeah, but I obviously I didn't ask that he should tell me if he's bringing something in. I said my question was, will they publicly address something soon? And he could at least say a yes to this, I mean, without any details. But he didn't even do that. He just said
he
no
told
comment.
you to pound sand. I remember. I remember seeing the email.
So, yeah, it's intriguing, absolutely, and I have this on my watch. And if they bring something in, this could be a nice mover, I think.
Lord Wellen, we got another request here. Buffalo Fireside Chats. Hello.
What's up?
Oh, hello. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Great. How you doing, man?
So shout out to all you guys. I'm actually on the road, so it's nice to hear you guys actually finally get to tune in. And first, I know I did listen about FLES, and I do want to apologize to everybody who listened to that interview, because one, I was definitely off my game, and I was throwing a curveball with the whole share situation. And it's tough to get to the bottom of these things. It gets so confusing. Do you know what I mean? Especially when you have notes flying everywhere, and you're trying to go through tweets and all that crap. So please accept my apologies for not being on my game as I should have been. But one ticker that I did want to bring to the table that I've been covering lately is AHRO. I'm not sure if anybody mentioned that one, but
not yet.
That one seems pretty exciting to me. I asked the CEO or the president, I'm sorry, Chris, if he has if they have regular news coming out, and he assured me that there's a pipeline of trigger events, as he said. He didn't use the word catalyst, but they have 4 different divisions. One being the one exciting one is what is called Maybach's Global, and I got the app on Roku. They have a whole channel of programming, and I guess they're going to be expanding to 20 different countries. It's amazing that the material that is still on the stream, people eat it up in all these other countries. So he said they're going to have nine figures watching in some of these countries, which is huge. So that's pretty cool. And he did mention that they have like an A-list event sponsorship that is in the works and nearing the end. So right now, I like where the price is moving. It's been up considerably, from 0005. I think it closed at 111 today, if I'm correct. I didn't have a chance to check. It looked like it was heading there, but I'm excited about that one.
It closed at 111. Wait. No, it didn't. It closed it trip 9.
Trip 9, okay. But that's pretty. I really wanted to see it close up top, but we'll see. There seems to be some good bid support moving, so if they could keep up with the catalyst, if they could keep up with the communication, and I really want to see the balance sheet and see if they're gonna have more revenues. I'm not looking for some extreme profitability, but I do want to see them commit and get that contract with the 20 countries, expanding their Roku app and expanding. I guess they're going to be signing on with 2 consumer electronics companies too, to do co-branding with. So that's pretty exciting. So that's the one I'm sort of looking at lately.
Perfect. Well, thank you for that. We'll keep an eye on it.
Have a great day, guys.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming up, man. Thanks, Buffalo.
Have a good one.
I am just dying for something fresh. My goodness.
Yeah, I know.
AHRO,
I know many are gun shy because they had a lot of false starts. I like it here because I hope they finally get this business like really rocking. I bought some in trips when I posted it like a week or two ago. But we will see, I guess. I know that people are gun shy. I understand it.
It's one for me. Like, I'm not saying it's a bag, but
no, absolutely. I know what you mean.
Over the years, I've said that, this somehow always seems to fall apart.
So this isn't the same Authentic Holdings.
This used to be
GFTX. That would be a competitor.
This used to be GFTX. Yeah. Or I think it was GFTX.
It was. Yeah. Symbol change to GFTX is pending. So, well, that's what it says on OTC Markets.
Well, they're very organized at OTC Markets. I'll tell you what, they're a hell of an administrator.
Oh, man. It did close at 001, by the way, up 11%.
I hope it works out, and I hope he finally gives them a good move, and quits kind of doing the old switcheroo on them. That would be really nice. And if you got a position, just don't go red, I guess.
Man, they've got over 2 billion shares in the float, though.
Yeah, I mean, this. I think for me, like when I see that, I go like, oh, that's so annoying. But then when I try to do anything else, then they think it's too thin. So if that works for them, great.
It's definitely not a thin one. This one.
No, but strong volume at a low price like that can move the stock eventually. It's doing it in incremental amounts, but it's working. The chart's forming up decently, but and it's after it's been down so long.
And to be fair, if you look at the chart in the last few weeks, I mean, it doesn't trade like 2 billion shares floating, Look at it. I mean, it goes up with 30, 50, 60 million shares. It doubled. I mean, sometimes you see that on LTNC right now, it's the same. It's trading so much thinner than what the float shows. So I guess sometimes some people have like huge positions privately and they just hold, because otherwise it wouldn't be possible that LTNC is moving like this, like it has.
Yeah, because they have like 7 billion shares.
And look at the chart and on what it was moving. Sometimes it's a little bit misleading, I guess.
Well, yeah, because all the sellers have backed off to let the stock breathe.
Yeah, but it's
honestly, how else could it be?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if they're not converting, this is a great place to be. I mean, they closed it. Did they? No, they almost closed it a penny. Closed at 0096 with 21 million shares traded, which does not reflect even 1% of the float. I wonder what percentage of the float that is. 21.2 million shares. Can somebody do the math on that and just for curiosity's sake?
Yeah, it's very little. And this happened now like for the last 2 weeks that it's trading thin. I don't know how this trades like this. I mean, I know there is like a cult following, and some people for sure have like endless shares stuck away. I mean, what's your thing, Pat?
If you recall, I remember we having this conversation, be like, boy, this trade's thinner than I thought. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden the badonkadonk came out.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's always possible that suddenly they unleash it, So
hopefully like I said, you gotta be there to find out. I get it. But I'm on badonkadonk watch.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So here's the deal: it's trading thin. So what to me that means is you get it in the stock. Say you buy 2-3 million shares, 5 million shares. You don't put too much money in it, and the stock starts going up. If it's only trading light volume like this, when you try to get out, do you think you're going to get out in one trade? Do you think you're actually is 3% of the float? Thanks, whoever texts that. But do you think you're going to be able to get out in one whop, or you're going to be chasing the thing down, trying to get out so you don't lose the profit you made?
Yeah.
It's scary.
It's all, and I think if for instance, if these guys did a really good job and kept it together and made a good run out of this, then it could feed into more, and then more companies would do well, and that's the responsibility we're looking for. And you can't be there unless you're there. So I get it, because I'll always run into people on Twitter who will be like, "Excuse me, do you know that they have notes converting in 1 year?" Like, yeah, I do. Okay, can I make a trade here? Can I try and get ahead today? There's a fine line between being that guy and someone else, and you'll never know if they're going to let her buck if you're not there for it. It's just a matter. The difference maker is, can you manage your risk on the path towards it, and can you accept that sometimes you're going to get stopped out and you might miss one. And if you can do that, then you're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think it's a
we have a
big point you make, an important one. If you're a trader, you gotta draw lines, and you gotta make it aligning in the sand at some point.
we got a text update from Buffalo on DRCR. He said that DRCR is not under ILS.
They're no longer involved with ILS?
Well,
that's all it said. So.
Well, I could just clarify. ILS owns now. Nick Link, I think, is he's a chairman with DRCR, but ILS owns 10 million shares of DRCR. But they're not under their financials don't report to ILS. They're not under the ILS umbrella. They're their own separate company.
I'm talking about they're under the fist of ILS.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, all right. No, that makes sense.
And that is a big fist, that guy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to talk too much crap, because if I run into that guy in the street, it is over for me. That's it. Break my ass in half.
That was good.
Yeah, he's on the board of directors, Nicholas Link. It shows.
Yeah. He could break the boardroom table over my face. You know what I mean?
Let's hope not that hurt.
I hear you. Well, thanks for the clarification, though, Buffalo Fireside.
Where is Lico?
Yeah, this Dakashiden, I was hoping to hear from him.
Lico wanted to join.
Let's go through it, because I'm starting to wonder about this Dakashiden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe they're going to...
What was the symbol again?
DKSC. Dakashiden. So they had
up 25% to 001.
Yeah, they had the change of control. How long ago was that now? In December, but it was just in filings. Then they put out the filing March 29th, explaining that the CEO bought the control block and was looking forward to releasing an update soon. So, and I know that Lico had come across some DD. Let's just take a look at it here. And I think he put it on iHub. But if this new guy can do well here, it's not a bad setup. Let's see here. He says, "I think I found something." He's got the mystery man, so it's on an iHub post. So this is just saying the guy's name, and we haven't heard. So we're waiting on Lico to hit us up with the scoop on that DKSC CEO. I'll try and do some original digging and fill it in. I just received a note here that says, "At what level do you start loading the boat on IGPK?" Someone just sent that to me, and I'm going to tell you something. I think they're doing it to. I think they're doing it to break my balls, because IGPK is a bag. But this DKSC, take a look and reach out to that Lico and see if we can get some details, because there is a change of control there, and it's new this year. So we'll see what he came across. I'll hit him up, and maybe someone else hit him up and see what he found.
Well, 2 hours ago, he posted that he has the next DKSC, so it looks like he's kind of moving on a little bit. He's like, just to let everybody know I'm watching a new play. Low trip, under 0005, less than 2 billion float. I'm pretty sure it'll be the next DKSC, in my opinion. I'm like,
DKSC didn't even run yet. Oh.
Well, if he was in before it went, then he's already made a good game.
I mean, getting.
I mean, if he got in at trip 3, getting down at trip 9, that's a triple.
It's just how long would it take to move the gain out? Like if it was big money, you know what I mean? That's the big question. But listen, I mean,
and more,
if he just
we're seeing people not hold.
Yeah, if he just chipped away at it every day, for a few days or weeks or whatever, then yeah, I guess it could. But hopefully that's not it. I mean, I was kind of excited there, but we'll see.
They haven't had news in a while. I'm looking at their filings disclosure. They haven't had any disclosure. Well, last month, it was the annual report. That's what they got done with. So that might explain why they've been quiet, because they've been working on their report, their annual. Yeah, and that always takes the longest.
Absolutely. Okay, well, there's that. Yeah, I mean, the DKSC, I'd be interested to see what happens there. Anyone else got anything on their mind, or how are we feeling, Josh?
Feeling good, man.
Well, I really enjoyed the interview today. I really enjoyed that guy. Love to hear the passion.
Yeah, me too.
Really nice to hear.
Look, okay, so behind the scenes, I've been watching this show on. I can't even think of the name of it, but it's somebody in his field of work that he buys and sells memorabilia, and I've been enjoying it because you see things pop up that can take you back to when you watched a game or saw an amazing play, and they've got the jersey that was worn, they've got the piece of whatever connected to that can bring that memory back to life, and it's really cool to see how much those go for. Holy crap, they sell for millions and millions of dollars, and of course only a few select people can afford to buy things like that, but some of their collections are just obscene. Like the original Star Wars toys, and how you walk into a guy's room, you see thousands and thousands of little collectors' memorabilia, and they're worth millions of dollars. And it's just hard to fathom how much money they make selling collections like that, or how they even get their hands on them. But it's a cool little storyline.
I don't know. Whenever I see garage sales, I'm like, hey, maybe this will be the thing. See the Super Nintendo
the hidden
game?
Air Jordan shoe.
This game came with every Super Nintendo, but maybe today it'll be worth a lot. Who knows? I just buy a bunch of stinky
if it's the
old
last
shoes.
one in good condition, yeah.
Just buy as many stinky old shoes as you can, and one of them is going to hit. What do you say to this strategy?
Well, guys, while you're on the space, I know we got like 43 people in here. I put in the chat a link to our YouTube channel. Please go follow us on YouTube. Put a lot of time into being able to bookmark or earmark the individual stocks talked about on our OTC Stock Talk open mic sessions. And in the Q&As, of course, we're able to condense the audio and clean up some of the spaces or anything like that. It's a pleasure to have you guys engage with the content we have. If you like a Q&A session or an open mic, share that with people, man. DM them, let them come on. If they get involved in penny stocks or OTC market stuff, bring them on the show. They can raise their hand. They can talk about the stocks they're looking at. We're here to build a community. It's not just about us. So thank you guys so much for being part of that. Thanks for going and following OTC Method, JRC Stocks, Shido, and anybody else that comes on this space, because together we want to bring out information that everybody needs to make more intelligent decisions when they're buying or selling stocks.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for coming. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sheeta.
No, I just wanted to ask Josh, is there any timeline when we see Sheldon coming back to talk about some stuff? Is there anything planned?
Sheldon in Wintosh. He's supposed to be coming back on. He didn't have a timeline set right away. I think it was going to be a month or two out.
Okay, good.
So I'll follow up with him and I'll see when he's looking at coming back on.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer to that in a second.
Okay.
Beauty. Well, thank you all. Thank you, Josh, for putting it together, and everyone for participating. And let's make this OTC the place for retail to be again.
Let's make it great again.
Yeah, make it great again.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
All right, guys.
See you later.
Have a blessed night.
See you. Bye.
Peace.
See you guys.